everybody. It's Chris Shubert back for another edition of the Zoom, where we zoom in on thought leaders in the channel today. I am super excited today because I get to interview one of my closest friends in the channel and a person who I've had the pleasure of working with for probably more years than either one of us would care to admit. With me today is Stacy Conrad from TPx. Hey, Stacy, how you doing?
I'm good, Chris. Thanks for having me today. I'm excited to be here, minus the camera, but I'm excited for our conversation.
We will get into that. So, Stacy, let's kind of start a little bit with you yourself. You know, you are unique in the channel in that you have truly done it all. Channel management, executive leadership, worked for a master agent for a good chunk of years. Tell us a little bit about, who Stacy Conrad is and what fires you up about working at TPx.
You know, I have been really fortunate. I've definitely been very blessed. I've had several really great opportunities, and I've just been able to put myself in the seat of the partner, the seat of the customer, the seat of the person doing the selling. And I like to think that helps me be very relatable to the people we're working with. I had the most phenomenal opportunity when TPx expanded and we became more of a national play. They were like, we need someone to start the Southeast. And I heard about the opportunity. I'm like, this is made for me. It is building a new opportunity, a new channel with a company with proven products, contracts in place, relationships in place, spiffs already created. Everything was ready, but recruiting and working with the partners in the Southeast. So this was just an opportunity I could not pass up. I still sometimes feel like I'm brand new, but this June will be 2 years. And we've just built an amazing, I know, it's crazy. We've built an amazing team down here in the Southeast, and it has been just so phenomenal, and it gets better every day.
Well, and I know you were a key component of that. I mean, it is funny to think of it, you're working for a company that used to be known by a Pacific name, and They changed their name, and they grab you, and they go national. And it's been a great story to tell, because a lot of times in the channel, when we talk about companies that are expanding or growing, they grow a little bit too fast. They overshoot their mark, and they end up disappointing a lot of customers. Instead, with TPx, you have a company that had a really great reputation on the West Coast and has really built it nationwide. And I know you're a big part of that.
And shameless plug, I have the best boss in the world. You know, I'm a huge Jim Dellis fan. And so I got very lucky on that side too.
So let's talk just a little bit about that. You know, Jim Dellis recently took the reins of TPx after a minor reorganization. That wasn't due to a bad situation. It was due to someone saying, whew, I've been doing this a lot of years. I'm out. That's what we all aim to do. But tell us a little bit about Jim's vision for TPx going in 2020.
You know, it's exciting. We did have some new investors come in. You know, Cirrus came in, and they came in with vision, and they came in with money. And when you're working for a company, those are the two things you want people to come in with. They had the forethought to promote Jim. Jim had already really been running the national channel program, and he took over all of the directors like myself. So there's a team of 6 and 30 plus channel managers. And Jim just wants to make sure that we have the vision, the support, the resources, so that we can go out and really work successfully with our partners. And it's funny because I heard like what I love about this company is, you know, I've worked a national team where I had 10 to cover the whole country. Our products are a little more in depth. They require sometimes a little more hand-holding to get into new opportunities and sell. And all of my channel managers can drive to the partners in their region. So they're small enough that they can really make a difference. And I love that. That's part of Jim's vision, part of the company's vision, is to make sure that we're actually selling together. And we really, that to me is more of a partnership than just sitting at the other end of the desk doing a bunch of quotes.
I love it. And I think that is one thing that's been a key element to our success with TPx is that partnership strategy. A little bit different from, let's say, the refer to the direct side, which has become very popular in the channel in the last year or so. But truly, you know, old school channel management, getting out into the field with the partners, not being a quote desk and helping them sell. With that, you know, I assume there may be a couple people listening to the Zoom this week that don't know TPx. I don't know how that's possible, but for the sake of argument, give us just a little bit on who TPx is today and what your sweet spot is.
Wonderful. I mean, some of us know that, it was the legacy Telepacific 20 years ago, but we sort of, became TPx about 4, and today we sort of internally call it TPx 2.0 as we've really started 2020 and come up with all these great changes. 3 core areas that we are extremely successful. The first is communications and collaboration. We are a major UCaaS provider, extremely successful, adding about 5,000 seats and call paths a month. So that's a great piece of our business. The second piece is when we look at our managed services and our security line. And so we've been extremely successful. We started working with Velo before folks like you and I were even saying SDWAN, but have numerous relationships with a lot of best in breed, Fortinet, Meraki, Silver Peak. So we've been very fortunate in how we've laid out our managed services offering. And then thirdly is just, good old-fashioned internet. Connectivity is still out there. I will say in my region, it's not as big of a play, but nationally, we definitely still sell a lot of bandwidth. And today, we talked about working from home. I have 4G failover in my house. There's, the internet sort of changed how a lot of us are doing work. So whether we're selling gig pipes or backup solutions, that's been part of the portfolio as well. So that's really what TPx is doing. I mean, the company, if folks don't know, we're a $700 million company with more than 1,500 employees. So it's the right size organization where we're not so big we can't do anything, but we're not so small that we're always short resources. We're right in that sweet spot.
And one of the things we love about TPx is the ability of talking about a provider that does have a ton of installed UCaaS and installed SD-WAN, which to me is a big mark for, how you can fit with certain customers, because certain customers, they want to know that you've got 1,000 SD-WAN sites deployed and 5,000 UCC. That's important. That's something that's a box that TPx always checks off.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for regular viewers of the Zoom, I'm normally doing this from a lovely little studio with the greatest in audio and visual accoutrements that make me look 20 years younger. But right now...
Oh, damn it. Wait a second. We're doing this over.
Sorry. No.
I know.
So we're recording this right now during the what we hope is the height, but we don't know. But at the in the middle of the coronavirus COVID-19 crisis that we're dealing with, this is a subject that's going to be coming up a lot on Zooms over the next several months. But from the obviously, Stacy, this is changing the way our country and our world operates, and that impact is being hit exceptionally hard in the telecommunications and IT integration channel today. You might argue from a good point because it's changing our conversation, but it's also terrifying for a lot of folks that stake their livelihood and operate as a small business. So let's kind of deal with 2 pieces of this. First off, you mentioned the work from home strategy. TPx obviously is a company that has had great work from home strategies available for their customers, but what is the guiding force for TPx right now when it comes to work from home and the impact of COVID-19?
It's really been interesting because I'll start by saying I've worked from home for 20 years, and you forget that that's rare. It seems so common to me, and I'm talking to folks who are doing their first video. They're not used to being on conference calling. They're not in our space. And we take for granted how much we've used this technology. TPx is a company, we've always deployed about 20-25% of our employees to work from home. But as of last week, and of course this will be dated, but when the virus really took full effect and companies were really introducing their business continuity plans, we have 80% of our folks working from home today. And that's, again, a company with 1,500 employees. It's amazing to me the strategies we had in place and how quickly we could deploy it. But we're in the industry, we're in the space, and it reminds us that our small and medium customers don't know. And it's been everything from the obvious, let me just set up a UCaaS account, let me have a soft phone, and that's great. Let me now have some collaboration tools so I can actually see people and feel like I'm still connected. But the security play is equally as big. You just can't have everyone go home, dial into the network and think everything's going to be safe and sound. So, managed VPNs, Office 365 in the cloud. There's so many other products we're talking to folks about. And I just think it's eye-opening. You know, to your point, we're busier than ever because of this, but you want the scramble to be positive for the customer. And we want to make sure that we can get them the collaboration tools and the security tools so they can confidently run their business. You know, at the date we're doing this video, we don't know if we're going to be home for weeks or months. I mean, none of us really know. And we need to make sure those companies can still operate. So I think we take it all very seriously that we have a big responsibility to roll it out there correctly and quickly because people want it yesterday. But no, it's been a good thing.
And I applaud you for that, because one of the things that, I've seen when these bad things happen, you see the best and you see the worst. And there's been some fear mongering, which I came out on one take video earlier this month, which is like, please don't do that. And TPx has stayed away from that because we shouldn't be scaring people. We should just be making sure that we're here, we're available, and we've got the right products available. We've got networks that are stable. I think we've seen a lot of the traditional network players take a large load on their network that they might not be expecting. We've seen folks that have been oversubscribing get hit because you can't oversubscribe in a crisis. So doing things the right way, doing things correctly, I think is exceptionally important. One of the fun things that we've been seeing is, customers that we've sold all these wonderful UCaaS features to, but have only been using the traditional phone feed. Yeah. Now they're calling and they're like, how do I do this stuff? They've got their UCX1 client, and it's like, how do I create a chat room? How do I share my desktop? And they've had it.
How do I get my camera to work properly? Yep, I get it.
Yeah, that too. So let's have a little fun with that one. So when we got on here.
Yes.
One of the things you said to me in our virtual green room, if you will, is like, I hate doing video. Yet this is something that I think a lot of us are going to have to get used to. What do you recommend for someone that might be not wanting to do video? How do you approach it and start making it part of your sales process?
I think the easiest thing to get started is with your team and with your coworkers. You're seeing, we all do team conference calls. We do one-on-ones. The cameras have been here. We need to turn them on. Today I said to my team, I'm like, that's it. Today's the day. All of our internal needs to be on camera as well. And some of the companies, some of the people at TPx have been doing that. I told you, I joke, it's No Makeup Monday. I've not been a fan of getting on the camera. But the truth is, we're missing, if you can't see anybody, how can you sell? People buy from people. People need to trust. And it's so easy for people to be on a phone and be multitasking and get distracted. And the camera takes that away too. So I think it's really critical that we realize it keeps us on point. It keeps us in front. And like I told my team this morning, I don't care what we look like. The idea is for you to see my eyes, for you to see my face, for me to see yours. It's not, did your hair come out good today? And I think if we can get over the vanity a little bit and think of all the benefits, as I saw a bunch of folks on Friday doing a virtual happy hour. That doesn't work on the phone. That works when we can see each other and we're toasting our wine glass together. I really think as we all start to embrace it more, the external, all the other folks out there are going to start to see us doing it more, and everybody's going to start to feel a little more comfortable with it. So that's my goal personally. My team will tell you the same thing.
That's awesome. I wholeheartedly concur with that strategy. And for me, I have to remind myself sometimes that a lot of the biggest products I sold back in my days as a channel manager, I did over the phone, didn't even look at anybody. Then we got into, the cocktail culture that the channel's been obsessed with over the last several years of everyone doing events and networking. And there's nothing wrong with that, mind you. But I do think it sometimes, it might soften your skill set. You have to be able to have a direct conversation with a customer. You have to be able to tell them why they need to buy your product, why your company is awesome, all the elevator pitch stuff. And sometimes I think that gets lost. In this new world, where we're going to be doing a lot more sales calls just like that, it's going to separate the men and women from the boys and girls and really I think it's going to really change how we operate. And that might just be for the better. We'll see. But it's definitely going to kill my frequent flyer status, and that just makes me cry.
I know, the hotel points are going to kill me right now. So for those of us who travel, the struggle is real. But no, it's so true. I'm making Chris laugh. I tell my team, nobody buys from paper. You know, we're not in the industry where someone's trusting their managed security to a quote. And if we're not going to be able to see the client and we're not going to be able to go to their office, we're going to have to find a way for them to trust us and want to buy from us. And I don't see any other way to do it but this.
Wow, I can't think of a better note to end on there. Stacy, if there's one thing that you want the community to remember about TPx, what would that be?
We are here to support our partners. We have fantastic products. We have great post-sale support. We are really committed to the channel. We continue to invest and support the channel. If you've not tried us, come try us. If you have, continue to spread the word. We're doing a great amount of business with CNSG across the country. We're very thankful for the relationship, and we just want to make sure we all go into this next quarter together successfully.
Well, Stacy, with you at the helm, I have no doubts in that. So thank you so much for your time today on the Zoom, and we'll chat with all of you next time.